and then I'll put the link everywhere once you start it
Okay,
up.
I want to let's everybody hold our breaths. We should be live, folks.
Okay. Yep.
Hold on. And if we're live, Mike, you owe me so big.
No, we're not live yet. Hang on.
Mine popped up that we are live, but
yeah, but click on it. Does it show us or does it show?
No,
yeah,
it's
there
showing
it is.
Sassy.
There it is. Yeah. See, hang on.
Hold on.
Oh, it's the same stream. We're live on the same stream. So click it and go to the end. Go to the very end.
Okay.
Right? Because it's the same key. It would be the same thing.
Yeah, we have 15 people watching.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to post the link everywhere.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I have the con. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Okay. So Mike's going to have to do a full reboot of his system, and we are going to...
so I'm going to drop off.
He's going to drop off for a minute, and Copperdan and I are going to continue on with whatever Copperdan was talking about.
All right. So I don't know what I think we talked about bear spray and then the importance of having it. If you're going boots on the ground anywhere, you need to bring this out with you. We talked about firearms, and if you're comfortable carrying one and you're proficient with it, I think it's a good idea if you're out in the woods to have something. We talked about deep woods off because the bugs are horrible.
Yes.
And as funny as that may seem, if you get out there, you'll be thanking me for having it in your pack. And last but not least is elevation sickness. And a lot of us flatlanders are so excited about our solve, and we run out there, and you get 6,000-7,000 feet coming from 500 feet, and it hits you. It's headaches and out of breath, and I took Copper Princess and my 2 young daughters up into Death Canyon in the Tetons, and we were like at 8,500 feet, and we were climbing, and my heart felt like it was gonna. I thought, this is it. They're gonna carry me out of here in a stretcher. So my dad turned me on to this. You can get this in West. You can get it a lot of places in high elevations, and it's oxygen. So it weighs nothing. It doesn't take up much space, and you can take a couple hits off of it as much as you need, and it's good stuff. And I know I talked to some other people that do climbing, and there's actually pills that you can start taking a couple of weeks before you leave, and they said they work pretty good.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. So other safety things, you could never have enough water, right?
Yep. And Joe Lewicki brings with, so that's the heaviest thing that you have to carry in your pack. I realize for Forrest, you shouldn't be going long distances, but if you are, the water takes up the most space and the most weight in your pack. So he has a straw that you can drink. Yep. You can drink right out of the river or creek with it. And
I can't get there. I just can't. I know that they're awesome, but I just and somebody else said, chug some water. I actually have a gallon of water for the 3 days before I go boots on the ground. And I have to drink all day long. And you don't go to bed until you drink all the water each day. So at least a gallon of water.
Thank you for reminding me that was my key. When I got out there and got it, as I just started, I was just constantly thirsty. So just drink water before you leave. Exactly what you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Hydrate.
Then if you get yourself nice and hydrated, then when you get
out
there,
your blood out.
And then when you crash and you want to drink down at the Pete's Pizza, you can have one and not get too dehydrated that night. So, but that would be the other thing is I actually didn't take any food. Well, so in the mornings, I was so freaked out about bears. It's funny because when I moved to Kansas, I was so freaked out about tornadoes and I never saw one. And I'm so freaked out about bears and I haven't seen one. I actually would eat in the morning. Then I would go and change my shirt. And then I would go out, and I'd never put any food in my pack, even though I had some food in the car. I thought if they eat the car, I don't care. It's a rental. But I thought if they're not going to eat me, I didn't even want the scent of anything in my bag. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Definitely keep that. Keep as much. When food, keep it to a minimum, just because of that. I know my dad and I went in. We were down on the Madison in a location, and we were keeping our eyes peeled, and we didn't see anything, but Joel Lewicki was out there, and he was within 1,000 feet of where we were 3 weeks after, and he walked right up on a grizzly.
Yeah.
He called me. He said it was like, whoa, okay, we're not going anymore that way, and he just slowly backed his way out.
Well, when he called me, literally he was walking backwards, he said, and he could see it, but he was trying to walk faster and faster. He didn't know it. You could hear it in his voice. Like there was adrenaline rushing, and it was like, call me in 15 minutes. If you can hang up, but you call me in 15 minutes, or you text me, or I am sending rangers. And I didn't really know where, don't think I know where, well, I kind of know where he was, but I didn't know enough that I could send, rangers there. But I knew he had family that did. The family wasn't with him, thank goodness. So let's see, what else? Eat up, tank up. Probably the number one item that I took boots on the ground the second time that I would definitely always take, if you have a search partner, walkie-talkies. Greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Because my search partner didn't want to give up. And so he kept walking. He's like, let me go over this pass for a half minute. And I said, dude, you do you. You just hit me with a bear's attacking me if something happens, because I'm not going to run until. Did you take them?
Yep, we did. And it was nice because we split up when we got into some thick stuff, and we split up a little bit, and then I couldn't hear him. And I just every couple of minutes just check in.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell the room we're having technical difficulties. I have taken over, and that does not mean here comes Christy Thor is coming back into the room. So we're just trying to wing it. So I'm now in charge of the tech side. So let's see if my internet goes out. The kids should be in bed, so I hope they don't get on any of the streaming. I might have conflicts, but
yours
so
gotta
we're trying.
Be better than mine's been doing.
Yeah, so we're sorry that I guess if the worst thing to happen is technical difficulties, but we're bringing good content. Everybody, hopefully, keep trying to find us. We're very sorry. We've gone down by about 100 people, so people are finding their way back to us. Michael reposts videos, but right now we're just trying to keep things going. So Mike is back. Hi, Mike. Were your ears burning? We talked about you the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, there she is. I say, just
all right. Janet's coming in.
Cool.
Hey.
I don't know if she can see us. Janet, can you see or hear us?
Can you see us? Hello.
I can't hear you.
She needs to click on computer audio.
You need to click on join with audio.
Yes, join with audio.
Okay.
Oh, she's putting her earbuds in.
She's like, hang on.
Hang on there. So Copper Dan, you know that I shoot. I only shoot a couple times a year. I used to shoot a lot more. I can tell you, I don't feel comfortable going boots on the ground with firearms, and I can't say exactly why. The only thing I can say, so my weapon of choice in my home is a shotgun, because I believe if there was someone that was charging at me, I don't want to have to get an exact shot. I want to be able to spray and so kind of get them down, because I'm going to be running like hell. I kind of feel like that with the bear. Like I wouldn't want to put a firearm on me where I'm going to have to get an exact shot, because I don't think I'm going to be good enough for an exact shot. So that's the reason I don't. And I think bear spray, it's going to kind of, it's going to be like a shotgun.
Here's my problem with bear spray is it says 30 yards. So pace out 30 yards once. I don't want to be that close to a grizzly bear that's mad.
Right.
And that's just me. Like I say, if you are comfortable and proficient with the firearm, then definitely your capabilities. You don't feel comfortable, don't, because you may just hurt yourself. So.
Right. I'm comfortable with the firearm. I'm comfortable enough to know that I'm not comfortable when it comes to a bear, a firearm. I'll just piss him off even more. I have a shot of dancing with him more than I have a shot of actually getting a shot off. Janet, can you hear us now? Are we good?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Yay.
Hey there, Minnesota.
Hey, I'm sorry. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be on right now. This time thing is throwing me off.
You're correct. You were supposed to be on with me, so.
Yeah, so
Okay.
this works out perfect. Yes.
Okay, great.
And actually, I need to apologize. First of all, I thought it would be really cute to say treasure hunting time, and then I messed up because I put treasure hunting time and then mountain time right next to it, and that should have not been mountain time. That should have been central time. Anyway,
Okay.
I will just say in general, it is not only you. There's been several guests that we're making it work. Today is all about rolling with it, and Mike and I have been a little stressed over the last couple days, and we're coming in and we're just going to smile. So we're smiling. You're here. That's all that matters. That's all we need is Jana's in the house. So we are
Yay.
talking about boots on the ground safety is our topic.
Okay.
So we covered, Dan covered guns, bear spray, that sort, and altitude sickness. We're starting to hit what are the items that you need. I think you took 6 months off of work and you went boots on the ground. You had an incredible boots on the ground trip, it sounds like. But tell us, how do you prepare for boots on the ground, especially for somebody who's never done it?
Okay. So we flew out to Denver the first time and then drove up to Wyoming. And in doing that, we had trouble with, or we didn't have trouble with bear spray. We bought it out there.
Mm-hmm.
We got it when we got it in Denver, when we got out to Denver. So, because I was worried about being able to bring it on the plane. We saw bears out in Wyoming, Montana, but we never needed the bear spray.
Yeah, thank goodness. I mean, that's one that I buy every time, and I'm like, it's okay that I'm handing it off to someone because that's the best thing in the world. And then they don't. I just walk into Walmart and I asked if I could give it back. They said no, so I just find somebody.
Oh, they actually have signs at the Walmarts that say bear spray is not returnable because that's what people do is they buy it. And
well, I just tell them the next person to walk in, give it to them, and they're like, "We're not doing that." But I just thought that's what I would know. So I just gave it to our front desk the last time and said, "Can you give it to the next person that doesn't have one, or give it as a prize?" I don't know. Toby's giving it as a prize. I would. So, but now I know enough searchers there. I just give it to a searcher to give it to somebody. So.
And that's what we were going to do, but we ended up bringing it home on the plane with no problem.
What?
Yeah. Oh. That was in our checked luggage.
Okay, checked bags. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They told us no.
Well, if they wanted to take it, but we're like, $40, $50.
Don't you know who they are? That's Jana. Come on.
We're Minnesotans. Rules don't apply to us.
They apply to you, I guess, only the female Minnesotans. So what else would you say? Just a good trick of the trade. Here's the other one. I used a bandana the first time, like a regular flimsy bandana, but I use the sweat proof one now. That's like the workout gear shirt. That is so great because I can dip it in the water and then I use it as like a scarf or over here or something, or if I'm starting to get too much sun, I can actually put it, mosquitoes are about, I put it up. So that's another one that I didn't the first time. I just used a bandana and it wasn't great.
We brought bandanas as well, but we didn't use them. And I'm sure everybody's heard this is mosquito spray. I ended up one time walking 2.5 hours in the woods, and by the time I woke up the next morning, I couldn't open my eyes because I had mosquito bites so close to my eyes. Yes, but you're not gonna spray them in my eyes.
Yeah, but he went over it guys. It's not play, and it's look at the amount of DEETs. I live in the South, so that we have the high DEET amount if we need it, and I go into the high DEET version. But if you don't know that and you just get the stuff that they think is sweet, the light version, it doesn't work. You have to get the high DEETs, and I don't remember what the number was, but it's the one that's you don't play. These are for real mosquitoes from the South, kind of thing.
I told Joel that going on there, so Joel, bring your bug spray, and he was so excited when he got there to go because we thought we knew where it was. So he took off. He forgot his bear spray. He forgot his gun, and he forgot his mosquito spray.
And he's still alive. My God.
And what made him realize all that was the mosquitoes. He's like, oh, Jesus, I forgot. So he had to go back, walk all the way back to the campsite and regroup. But
okay, so we only have about 4 minutes left, so we want to open it up to the room as we're discussing. Is there anything that you have for boots on the ground safety? As I ask you guys, what is your biggest close call issue? If you were to say that you had a safety issue, what was it? Oh, they say that bear spray taken on a plane will not work when you really need it, and that's what they were told. That came from Wildcatter's daughter.
The
So,
pressure. I wonder if it changes the pressure in it or something.
so you don't get caught somewhere.
Somebody told us here, was it sled neck? Someone told you you're not supposed to freeze it. So don't leave it in your car, which is what I did with my first two. I kept them in my truck. I was trying to leave it in here. Well, then it froze. So I don't know if it works. It's not like you can test it very easily.
Right. You test it once and you're kind of done.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so probably my biggest issue, I had two things. Everybody knows I put my walking stick in the geyser and it didn't come out that way.
What?
Well, I thought, because there was like a little cubby hole, and think of little cubby holes, and the water was so pristinely clear. I thought, and it was smoking a little, but I wasn't going to touch it. So I just thought I had one, and it wasn't a wooden one. It was one of those like titanium ones. So I put it in to see if there was anything like down in the cubby hole. And when it came out, it was like it was funny. I laugh now. Okay, that's my biggest. Knock on wood, that's my biggest. And when I went out alone, I've been out alone now several times. But when I go out alone, I always worry a little when you walk up on, I hate to say, like two guys, one guy, and you're the only one in kind of a desolate area. I worry a little bit.
Well, that's why, K-Pro, if you have a firearm on your side.
Oh, I should do it for the guys, let alone he's having to reboot his whole modem. So let's just.
Yeah, I mean, if I walked up on anybody, guy or girl, and they got a firearm on their side, you just have a little bit more respect for that person.
That's true. Maybe just for that, for not the grizzlies, for the grizzly men that, well, and Mike always says, no, you're not allowed to go without me. That doesn't work in my world. So I'll have to think about that. Yeah.
Are you covering things like, because I came into this late, so like nuts and just things to eat, and
we covered that because I don't carry any
water
food.
And
yes, we covered water. So what food do you
cranberries and nuts and walnuts and
it sounds crazy because I'm not a good chocolate person, but the trail mix, and get the ones with the chocolate in it, it gives you the boost. And peanut butter, that's another one. Cynthia has a good video on that. So, but do you actually take it out where you can get eaten by bear? Like I thought that always brings scent. So I only keep it in the car. I don't keep it on me.
Well, I look around first, but
it could. Okay. All right.
I haven't been eating yet.
I mean, honestly, when we went out last time with my dad, I mean, most of our boots on the grounds weren't that far from the car.
Right. That's the other reason. Right.
We were gone for no more than a half an hour, 40 minutes at a time, and we were back, and we would regroup and go do something else for a while, and go back to Oholiente and try to find K-Pro's proxy item. And
sorry. Well, and Lisa
in my case, it was a lot of boots on the ground.
I think everyone's best defense is common sense. This is the hard part. There's not a common sense factor for me because I know I don't know anything. So when I was like, oh, food, and somebody's like, oh, that'll bring bear scent. I'm like, oh, and like a bear bell, I didn't know what that meant. I'm like, why are we calling bears over? And they're like, no, the bell makes them go. Because I'm literally not even a kindergartner when it comes to life skills out in the rain. I'm a flatlander. That's the hard part. And I wanted to hear from people, and not like you can only read so much. So we could tell the stories of, like we're going to go over new searcher resources. You could go and figure out some stuff, but I get so many questions. People know I'm fine looking stupid. So ask me stupid questions. Somebody asked me, what's a scrapbook? Everybody's talking about scrapbook, and Dow, who's Dow? And it's okay to ask those questions. But that's how I am for camping. Ones. Yeah. So, but Jana, did you like rough it when you were out?
I didn't do any camping. It was all hotels. I only slept one night in the car. I'm going out with somebody who has disabilities, so the extra packing. The second time around this summer, I packed extremely light, but Brad did not, and he brought both walking sticks and extra things to drink. He can't go as far as I can, so he'll sit by a river or a creek, and I'll go further out, and then occasionally some people will come by, and I'll say, did you see that guy up there? Is he still there? And he'll say, hey, did you see the girl down there? So we're using people to kind of gauge where we were at. We had walkie-talkies, and they only went about maybe mile and a half.
Yeah.
And we would just be apart for a certain amount of time. So I guess roughing it, I was in the woods, and I usually do pretty good with my bearings and or my north, south, east, and west are. So
it's because you're from
I like getting
Minnesota.
lost. Yeah, yeah. I like
Minnesota.
getting lost, and it's okay because I'll eventually find my way somewhere.
Mhm.
So
Okay, so Dizzy Dean says 20 years in the mountains. If a bear knows you are coming, he will instinctively go the other way 90% of the time. Food, no food. Let them know that you're coming. Yeah, you should have seen me. It was like I was almost wearing every single thing. I had the bear bell and the bear spray and the bear this and the bear. I saw no bears. But they make bags that hide scents. Oh, I didn't know that, Lisa Smith. That's interesting. Maybe we should do that. Like have all the different little items. But
Well,
I
I
do
think
have to say
if you're gonna camp, I think
that's
definitely you
different.
want to.
Yeah.
mhm.
Okay. Well, we actually have Mike. Mike, are you on? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you
we
send? Okay, we can't hear you, babe.
We can
All right.
see you.
I actually rebooted my modem, so I don't know if it'll help or not. We'll
Okay,
see.
can you send the to Scott Conway? He's next
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
So when he
Okay.
gets on, you guys will need to drop off. But let's keep talking as he's doing that. So what's the one piece of advice that you give somebody safety wise, if you're just to give one to never forget?
Definitely the.
Apparently
know
that
your
didn't work. Sorry, guys.
know your surroundings and carry your bear spray. But know your surroundings. I think.
I agree on knowing your surroundings.
See, for me, it's one thing, two words: safety check-in. Because I think here's what I think. No matter what happens, if you forget water, if you don't check in by 5 and you have a ranger finding you at 6 or 7, you're still going to be alive. If you prepare with all this stuff and gear and know your surroundings, but you get like me, I can only know so much because it's going to be my first time out there. If I don't have a safety check-in, then you could go a day or two like, oh, I'll just call you when I get back in, but you haven't told somebody where you're at. So tell someone where you're at and tell them
Yeah.
what time. If I'm not back by 5 p.m. and tell them the time zone, if I'm not back by 5 p.m. standard time, send someone to this coordinate or this like Ojo Caliente, and it's very serious. And here's the ranger station or whatever it is.
You are right about that. That actually
Yeah.
happened to us when we were out and we did not make our deadline time back. And they did say where we were at, that if we were another 20 minutes that they were going to have the ranger come out.
Yeah, because I think that becomes the hard part. You get, even if you wander out more, I mean, they will take it seriously enough if you're out. I mean, the rangers, I don't know what it is, but it seems like rangers are just like good people that want to make, I mean, some of them are a little bit more strict than others, but they just want to make sure that you don't wander further and further. They're going to take it really, really serious.
Yeah, we dealt with some strict ones. One other thing, you're talking about rangers, but what if you're in a forest or, not a national park? You're just, that's different.
Police station, sheriff's station, Indian reservation, I don't know, but if you're on even on private land, I would calling my spouse or significant other, parent, friend before I'd be telling the police. But if you don't show up there, absolutely. I mean, anywhere. Here is a video of a park ranger spraying a bear. Oh my goodness. Okay. There's a video there that someone wants you guys to see.
So when we were out, if you guys heard about that buffalo that went after that little girl.
Yes.
So the story was mom and dad were trying to pet the buffalo, and of course that antagonized it, and it came after him. So mom and dad ran one way and kind of forgot about the little girl, and it turned off of them, and she was standing there. And what saved her was that she was little and limber, because it threw her pretty good. But
God, it was scary to see. Like she went, she flipped. Well, and that's the one thing a lot of people don't know is what happens when they get into panic mode. I remember. We're gonna have to transition here. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Thank you, Minnesotans, for being here.
Minnesotans, you betcha.
Be on in a little while because I'm hoping it all works out, but it's gonna get even more fun than it's already been.
So sorry about the internet problems, guys.
Yes, and Cabernet and Minnesotans are both so you guys are both in the drawing for later tonight. So make sure to weigh in or be in there. You don't have to be in there though. But we'll see you guys later, okay?
All right. Somebody win this map, please.
Oh, I will. Thank you. Okay, Scott, how are you, my friend?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. Okay.
All right.
So,
not too bad.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
I can hear you. You're a little bit low, but let's see if you are to the room. We're having so many technology issues. We're not even going to comment to them. There's so many. So those of you that don't know, this is Scott Conway. He's been on our show before. And we are having a fun time today talking lots of different, anywhere from solve to different panels to safety. And Scott had a topic that he wanted to talk about tonight. So we want to give some time and thank you for being here. And I'm sorry, I was emailing everybody and I know you were on Messenger, so you're a little different. So I'm so glad it worked out. And I haven't seen you in a while. So hello. I know we chat here and there, but we haven't seen each other in a while. So Scott,
Right.
a little bit about yourself, your topic, what you want to talk about, and anything you want to. And I'm going to figure out how to drop Jenna off because I am actually controlling things tonight. That's how scary it is.
I'm on. Sorry.
You're still on, but I will.
I don't see me.
Remove.
Bye.
Want to remove Jana. Oh, look, I booted someone from. Okay, go ahead, Scott.
All right. There's been some different discussions in the chat rooms about Ford, Mrs. Ford, and the meaning, the translation from English to Spanish, and then so some of the translation comes up as Vado, so Mrs. Ford would equal Vado. And then some of the other translations that people are throwing out there is about a river crossing. And so I wanted to, anybody that knows who I am and what I believe, both are where they would have to be. That actually both translations are there at my solve, because not only do you have Alvado Lake, which there's quite a few researchers that do believe that Alvado Lake is one of the main lakes that is a possible solution. So, I'm not by myself on that. But the river crossing, and I don't know, it's been a year or so till the last time I was out there, but on Heron State Park, it's Bureau of the Land Reclamation, not the Bureau of Land Management. So it's a different division altogether. There's a place where you could park, and there used to be a trail that would go, they were steps that would go down, and there's a bridge that actually goes across the Chama River that will take you to the other side. And then when you go down the path, it'll actually bring you to where Warm Waters halts. So it's an area that Forrest Fenn would have definitely fly fished, no doubt about it. So I do believe that the translation is literally both, that it's a river crossing and Lake Alvado. And and I think back about what Forrest would have saw on a chalkboard, because Miss Ford was a Spanish teacher, and so I would just imagine her name being written up on the board as Vado. So I just wonder how many times Forrest sat there in class and knew what her name would have been in Spanish, and then when he decided to hide the chest, and he knew that was one of the clues. So he talks about her quite a bit in the book, especially his first book. So I found that pretty interesting. And of course, it doesn't surprise me if there isn't multiple answers to each clue, but they're still the right answer.
Well, a lot of people think the mirror thing means there's two of each one. There's like a physical location and an imaginatory or more figurative type of solve to each of the 9 clues. Excuse me for just a second.
Sure.
Yeah, the borders thing, the biddies, as far as border, and then mirror. A lot of people think it's a double image mirror type thing. I've seen that with the book a lot.
Which, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wonder if that has to, with the double omega sign also,
But
Right,
why
mirror
the
image.
single? Why the single omega in the revised edition of Once Upon a While? Scott, tell me.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't
Either.
spent that much time in that book to really give you an answer, you know, a good answer. Yeah. So, you know, really, I
Well, and all he's
didn't
really
even know that
said
that was.
is the memoir, TTOTC. That's the one that he has said that we need to focus on for subtle hints sprinkled throughout the book. So you're focusing on Ford. And so do you believe that a river crossing is mandatory to get to your search spot, final search spot?
No. It would be mandatory if you actually walked out everything. But you don't have
Okay.
to do that, you know, because there's some spots that you can see it from a distance. Like, you know, I believe that where Willow Creek comes into the Chama River is where warm water halts. The Chama River being the warm water. And I was listening earlier, and Renegade was talking about he had made the comment about how do you say that, about it's not so much about, you know, warm water, it's about where cold water takes over or something along that line.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I'm like, yeah, you know, as far as my solve goes, that's exactly right, because that's exactly what happens when Willow Creek comes in and halts the Chama River. You know, they both are flowing together from that point down, but right there where Willow Creek comes in, from there on down, it's freezing cold. So like the Chama River itself is warm. I mean, it was real pleasant to be in and walk. I mean, I literally walked down it. And but then once you get to Willow Creek section of it where it comes in, I mean, it literally turns to almost freezing cold water.
Well,
And
and
so when Renegade,
I'm sorry,
oh,
keep
go
going.
ahead.
Well,
I was
I
going
was
to say when Renegade said that earlier, you know, to me it was like a home run. You know that he's correct on
well, and
his way of thinking there.
Christy was our first guest, and I wrote this down. Warm is red, water's a sea, which I don't know if I agree with that yet, but she said halt is a suspension of activity, which I thought was kind of interesting. And she thought it was temperature, the suspension of activity, not necessarily the motion. She didn't say the motion part, but I like
Right.
suspension of activity, which is very different than I think of halt stop. That suspension of
Right.
activity is different than halt stop because it could just be temperature then rather than the water still go,
Right.
you know. So I'm just today there's going to be so much I can't absorb it all, but I've hit some notes. And so you kind of hit the one. Renegade said it in one way and Christy said it in another, and they both that it stuck with me. So hold on one second. Let's ask.
Yeah. Don't read that super chat.
Okay,
Remember?
we see you coming. That's not
Right.
okay. I want you to know. And even though we appreciate the super, we're not allowing that. No, I'm not going to be answering that, but you can donate as many times as you want to have someone think it, but not say it. And that's not okay. Okay, go ahead.
You could super chat and ask, is the refrigerator running too? Go ahead. Somebody called me once when I was a kid and I actually checked and they said, well, then you better go catch it, and hung up.
Okay. Okay, so some people are
All
just
right, sorry,
it's
Scott.
late. It's late. They're being shenanigans. No more of that, or we'll okay. Let's see about the double omegas. They thought it was a joke when someone ended up in our solve. Only now looking back, I realize how silly it was. So, is there any part of your solve? So let's go into that for a second. That came from 3D Bronze. Is there any part of your solve that you said, "Oh, I shouldn't have included that. That took me down a rabbit hole, and it really was going this way or that way"? Did something kind of take you in the wrong place?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe not so much the wrong place, but the wrong thinking. So like when I did my solve, I was thinking the no paddle up your creek would be a creek coming in that would be like really rapidy, you know, something that would be impossible to canoe up, where you had to actually get out into the deeper water with your canoe and pull it up along with you up the stream, you know, because, you know, just would have been no way to paddle up it. You know, that's what I was thinking. And then once I got there and I realized that it wasn't my own personal heavy load, because that's how when my solve I translated it. And then once it hit me that heavy loads was plural, and that it wouldn't be just my heavy load, it would be other people's heavy loads also. And then I'm staring at a boat ramp, and because I'm walking up the right creek, and it wasn't the raging rapidy creek that I was thinking. It was quite the opposite. It was a rivulet that was barely running, and but you're still not going to paddle up it. So yeah, I didn't have that right in my solve, but once I was there and I was able to put it together, that the put in, I think that's the key word that Forrest keeps talking about that people don't put enough attention to, is the put in.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
even though it's more than one word,
Let's
if you look
say
at
2
some
words.
of his interviews,
I was going to say 2 words though. So yes, please keep going.
so he said in one of his interviews that he referred to a set of 3 words as one word. So it was like so
it could almost be like dash in, like put in, because it's one term.
Right.
Ah,
Right,
interesting.
exactly.
Okay.
So I think that's the. So let's say that my saw is right for sake of argument, right? And let's say the heavy loads are boats, and of course you got to put boats in. So that's an action word. To put in, it's an action word. So something has to happen at that point in time to put in. Boats or heavy loads could be a noun. And what she says about nouns being, that most of the nouns are a clue or whatnot. And since we're talking about heavy loads here, while I'm thinking about this, is that when in the first book, he tells us what heavy loads are, and the crazy thing about it is, it's in the story with the buffalo in the car. So he's talking about his brother and him, and in the car, and they decide the idea of taking this rope and tie it around the buffalo in the car or whatnot. And he made sure that he said this. He said in the book, he says, Skippy grabbed the heavy boat rope. So he told us right there that the heavy load was a heavy boat. And so he tells us that we need to read the poem and then reread the book and reread the book, memorize the poem, reread the book. And he goes, and if you do that, you'll find the hidden clues, because you got to realize you're looking for a blaze. So as you're reading the book, as you read it, which part of this book would refer to any type of blaze? For me, juniper wood being burnt. First time juniper is brought up is, he's talking about, as I sit here past midnight by my juniper fire. That was actually the first hint in the book that had anything to do with any type of blaze, whether it's a horse marking or a trail marking or anything. That's the first mention.
Let me chime in from the room because we have another super chat. Thank you, William. WWWH, only the name stops. 2 rivers, named rivers, merge and form a new name. That name is Canyon Down. Example, Firehole and Gibbons form the Madison and the Madison Canyon Down. Now he gave an example from up north. Does yours coincide with that?
No, because where Willow Creek comes into the Chama River, it's still the Chama River from there down. And it continues down as the Chama River, even from Lake Alvado, once it comes out of Lake Alvado. So yeah, no, for me, it doesn't do that.
Okay.
But I could see his logic behind that.
Yeah, I like that too. Now here's the other one. So we did a show maybe a week or 2 ago on Cynthia's book about none of the 9 search clues locations are associated with the man-made structure. If you say put in is related to a boat or a dock made, which is man-made, do you agree that none of the 9 clues are in relation to a man-made structure, or do you believe only the final location is not related to a structure?
I thought about this, and it's like, what's to me, a structure, right, is a building. A structure is something that you purpose for, to house, whether it's an outhouse or whatever. To me, that's what a structure is. I've done a lot of construction in my lifetime, and we refer to a lot of things as structures, and a lot of things I wouldn't refer to as a structure. Like, of course, that I think that the blaze is a log and two stumps that was made to form an X. I wouldn't look at that as a structure. It would. So technically, you could say, and Forrest does this though. This isn't uncommon for Forrest to make people stop and double think about what is going on a certain subject. And so I think that in context, a lot of times when the first time something's used, that's the context that it's meant in. Like, for example, when Forrest first come out, and you can correct me if I'm wrong about this, and he was saying about it not being associated with the structure, it was more because people were looking at outhouses and buildings and stuff like that.
They were trying to dig up his parents' grave. Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's when he put out all these, like, stop destroying structures, stop digging up my parents' grave, stop it, you searchers.
Exactly. And that was his context. It wasn't so much as like, don't look for the X. If there's any type of X, he would have had to build an X, or he had to do something to make that X, whether it be carved in a tree or something. So it'd still be man-made. If the blaze was, say, like a trail marker, it would have to be man-made. Whether it was from Native Americans that did it 1,000 years ago, or if somebody did it 50 years ago, it would still be a man-made marker. And so for me, the blaze is man-made, but it's still not a structure. And so that's kind of how I look at the structure thing.
Okay,
yeah,
so 5 minutes. We have about 5 minutes left, but you really wanted to specifically. I'm sorry, I've taken you off track because I like your way of thinking. Because you and I are relatively, or I used to search relatively in your area, so that is interesting. I don't know. I believe you have a common bond with somebody that you've been relatively in their area, but you wanted to talk specifically about Mrs. Ford and the water crossing. Is there more to that you wanted to talk to?
Now, have you been there? Do you know the bridge I'm talking about?
I do not.
I know that you've been. Yeah. So
I've been your Vado. I was Heron, and then there was a specific route, and the route I didn't have to go the full route because it actually kind of did an omega and went back to a spot that I just had to walk down to get to. It was very short walking distance, even though the path actually went around a whole different way. So, but we were close in, proximity between Heron and Vado, so they were close.
Right. So this bridge I'm talking about is just above the Heron Dam. It's not real far. There's actually like a pull-off site where you can go, and they have it shut down. You can't go down to that bridge no more. Through the steps that they're there, but you can go down there if you go down in the canyon, on the side of the canyon. And
well, there was a chain there when I was there, and a chain stops a car, but a chain doesn't stop a hiker. I had to walk a little more, so you just had to be persistent.
So you're talking going down into Willow Creek there. You're talking the chain across the road that would go down into Willow Creek, correct?
Well, since it's not my active solve anymore, I won't. I'm so sorry. Follow me down. I should not. I know you're in touch with my old search partner, so you guys could connect on that piece. But I'll just say I know where you're talking about. Let's just say that.
Okay, so the bridge is only maybe 200 yards up from there. So it's a walking bridge. So like if you're a fisherman if you were a fisherman, right, and you wanted to fish that area, that's exactly how you would have got down there. You would have went down the steep set of stairs, you know, and some of the stairs are tree roots and stuff. So I understand why they have it shut down. But the stairs would have went down to this bridge, and you would have crossed the bridge, and you would have went over, and you would have been able to get into the good fishing area easily without the fish really being able to see you coming. If that's making any sense to you.
Yes. Now someone is asking, how deep is a hole? So did you want to talk? We're in our last 3 minutes. Where are you now? And actually, I think they think it more serious than I do. Of how deep is the hole? Like how far? Well, so those of you that don't know, Scott has a hole that he dug, and that he's a little bit more has more notoriety than some searchers do because of his solve. So where are you at with that at this point? I know that you still were very committed to your search, but you were also, there's some legalities and issues that you're working through. So where are you at now? Because I still think, and I will hold to, and anybody that gives me any guff about it, Scott's a dedicated searcher, and we all have our dedication and levels and all that, but he has a really good voice in this community, and good meaning there's soundness in the thought process, some of the things, and the toe tipping in it. That helped me because I wasn't the only one. And now Cynthia's has come out. I don't know if you saw that. Now there's 3 of us that have been told that. But anyway, I don't want to go off in a rabbit hole. I just want to say, I think there's a lot of people that touch on that line of, do I dig when I know I shouldn't dig? What does that look like? And you're kind of the extreme case that shows, oh, what do we do here? So where are you at?
Right now, I'm under federal investigation.
Okay, but you're still there.
Yeah, they don't seem to be moving on it at all. Don't know why. I mean, I've talked to the right people there now at this point. I try to get a permit to finish the dig. That's a no-go, obviously. Next move is I'm going to try to talk to them about getting a permit to bring in a professional team with the deep-seeking metal detectors that could actually give you, a pretty good solid, say, hey, this is, a piece of metal that's within this diameter, and it's right here in this location, which I don't understand why anybody would have a problem with that at this point. It's non-destructive, and, it would, but, because the technology's there now at this point, and I couldn't afford this technology back then. I can't afford it now. It's expensive stuff, but if I hired professionals to come in there, it would answer the question once and for all if there's a piece of metal there. Like my metal detectors are telling me that they are. I got some really good metal detectors. I got one that'll go 6-8 feet deep. And for court, but do you know why, Forrest, where that statement came from, how deep a hole is?
Somebody asked him something. What did they ask him? Yeah, they asked him a question, and he said, "You might as well ask me how deep is a hole." I can look it up if you want me.
No, I know it. I can give you the answer,
okay.
but you can look it up if you want. To double check me so people don't think that I'm full crap. But Forrest knew I was going back out at that time frame that I got caught because I emailed him, and one of my last emails to him was, once I get the chest, do you have a lawyer I can contact? Because of the legalities of being able to keep the chest. And the response I got to him that there should be no problem. Right? That was the thing I got. And then Forrest came out shortly after that and said that he had a gut feeling that the treasure is going to be found this summer. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I went out and I went to the book signing during February.
This year?
I showed Forrest last year.
2018. Okay.
Right, when the year I got caught, and so I showed Forrest a picture of the blaze, asked him to sign it. He said he could not sign it because by signing it he'd be endorsing it, so that he was no way he could sign it. So with that being said, the reporter from Daily Mail was there, right? And the next day, she had an interview with Forrest. Now, in the same book signing, I told Forrest that I got caught digging. He was very concerned about who caught me. That was his first concern. Which was kind of odd. It's like, why would that be his first concern about who caught me? But I told him who caught me digging, and I told him why I was there. I went there for the only sole purpose is to give Forrest a warning that I got caught, because there's more there than just a treasure chest.
And I think somebody
In
caught
which
this.
anybody,
It might have been Toby on video, where they saw the exchange, like, where was it? And he was like, oh boy. But we have a couple super chats, so I wanted to get those in because we are a little bit over, but that's okay.
okay.
Forrest has used Homo sapien in SB. It means wise human. Could Blaze be associated with a person? I don't think that's in your solve, but what do you think about that comment in general?
I believe there's a person associated with this whole thing.
Okay.
Which you know that not a live person though.
Right.
I before I lose my train of thought here on how deep a hole is. So the reporter from Daily Mail had it, and she knew I had to blaze. I talked to her the night before, so she knew what was going on. So she asked Forrest, then after he found out that I got caught, she goes, "So what's your gut feeling like now on somebody, finding the treasure this summer?" And that's when he answered, "How deep is a hole?" And you gotta know this is after he knows that I got caught digging the hole. And then after that, when he realized that through emails, because shortly after that, me and Forrest sent quite a few emails back and forth after I got caught, right? And after that interaction, and then he was asked again if he thought somebody would find it, and he said he's weaning on it. And my opinion, that's because he knew I got caught, and he knew that they wouldn't let me go back to finish the dig. So we got communications before where he says that he had a gut feeling he's going to be found. He realized I got caught, and then that's when he says how deep's the hole. And then he realized they're not going to let me dig it back. They're not going to let me back in there. And then that's when it went to he's weaning on it. And then
Well,
all that talk has come to an end ever since then.
Well, and the one I will tell
And
you, and not that I put it out there, but once it was put out about the tip and the toe in it, that is when I was heading to Heron. And he was like, where would you tip your toe in it? And he was really kind of, it was also about my previous solve as well, but that was the same location. So this one I don't quite understand. Maybe it means something to you. Miles says, where dots at Cowlazars' sister? I have no idea what that even means. So, where dots at? I don't know what that means. It says in parentheses, Cowlazars' sister. So if it didn't mean anything to Mike, I asked him, does that mean anything to you? It doesn't. So I will say at this point, I didn't think it'd mean anything to you because it didn't think it, and Cowlazar has no idea. Yeah.
No, but I'll
So
definitely think about it. I mean,
Miles, put it at KPro or an at Cowlazars if you want to explain more, because where's dot at? Dots at. I don't know what that means. So, but it sure is interesting. So, we're a little bit over. We need to keep on track for right now. But Scott, as always, I think you definitely have everybody thinking, not only the legal aspects, but being dedicated to a solve. When do you go? When do you push that line? And then just in general, the different things that you bring from your different perspectives, I really enjoy. So I think you're a great guest, and thank you, and we'll keep in contact. But I will say I do not believe anything that can get us in trouble legally is where we should be going. But also, I respect searchers and their own right to do what they do. So thank you for being here, and we'll do an invite at the end for everybody to come back, and hopefully you have some time for that. And I have you on the list. You are the last one. You are one of these that are going to be pulled for a numbered silver search coin, or I'm sorry, 2019 searcher coin. So thank you for being here. As usual, I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, guys.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I didn't
thanks,
say
Scott.
it.
Sorry, I had so many problems where I couldn't really participate.
Yeah, and thank
That's
you for
okay.
your service. I have two real men again on this panel, so thank you again for your service.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so now let's
So
jump
yeah,
to
that I had what that meant. So
yeah.
I don't
So
know
if
that.
you explain what that means, we will be more than happy to or Mike. I don't know if that's to Mike or to me or I think it's to Mike, but I don't know.
Okay. To Jens, and he says he could probably come on at 9:00. That's in about 20 minutes because Jens is the last guest, right?
A last official guest, yes.
Yeah. So what I was thinking is because I'm having so many issues. If you want to go solo, it's fine. Just keep going as long as. But we could do the drawing for the coin. Just end it when Jens is on. So instead of trying to go to 11:00, we'll do it whenever Jens comes on and gets off. But up to you,
Yeah.
since you're in control here. But I'm in and out, so I'm not really going to be able to help that much.
Oh,
but I
so
really want to do the video. But yeah.
So we're totally going to be able to talk about you. That's awesome. So we can
Nice.
do it before. Okay, so here's the thing.
Okay, we did just get a super chat. Sorry,
Oh.
Connor Gleason. That's a new name. Welcome to the marathon. I don't get where warm waters halt. Ice wallow come. Does he mean where ice?
Does that anagram?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get where warm waters halt.
I'm hesitant in reading some of these. Are these nasty little words being said? I don't know. Tacos, LOL. Unbelievable.
Right.
I don't
it
think
is
you.
late on a Saturday.
I was going to say, where is our moderators? I think I don't know. The guy
you can't
on.
moderate a super chat. Oh wait, maybe you can.
Actually, I'm sure you can.
I think you just misspelled something. I'm not sure.
Ah!
Anyway, okay.
You trusting.
So it's up to you. Do you want to do the drawing? Or do you just want to talk for, I'll send the invite to Jens and he'll come on whenever he's ready. He says he's getting the video ready as we speak. So.
Okay, so maybe we should tee up what's happening right now with
Tell
what
people
I
what it
have
is.
teased. Okay, thank you, Copperdan. I don't know exactly I don't know if it's something that's not, anyway. So here's the thing. So here's the things that we have left to do. We were going to do a panel. I would still like, K-Pro is outing Mike's internet because she knew Mike was going to drink and spill secrets. Yes, this is all calculated. No, I know Mike's going to feel really bad, but he's frozen up. He is like, frozen from I feel bad that Mike's where he's at. So okay, what about the big surprise? Okay, so here it is. This is what I want you guys to know, and it is so different where it's just me rather than me and Mike. But here is what the surprise is, but we still have these to do as well. I don't know if Jens wants me to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Well, maybe we should wait for yet. So there is some unique footage of Forrest Fenn that will be here in just a few minutes. And I have not seen it. I don't know the details. All I know is it's very unique. Any Forrest Fenn quote is the way he's not here live, obviously. And Jens also has something that he wants to ask of the community that we are also going to volunteer up a searcher coin, a 2019 searcher coin for if you decide to participate. So the show is not over. So hold on, guys. So if you want to see something unique of Forrest Fenn, that's what I have been told, and I'm hoping that actually happens. Usually I don't say anything until it actually happens, but Jens was able to spend time. So I'm going to try to be as generic as possible. Some time with Forrest and get some unique footage, and that is going to be shared tonight for the first time ever. And hopefully,
Jens and the last on at the very end, he just popped in and was like, "Send me an invite." Nobody knew who he was, and then since interviewed a lot of people, he's making a documentary. So what he's going to show is another teaser for that documentary, right? Am I got that right, K-Pro?
Yes, but the difference between this one is, no offense to every searcher on Earth, none of us care about every searcher at the same level as we care when we hear exact quotes and footage from Forrest Fenn never before seen ever.
Right. So it's a teaser it's a trailer for his documentary.
Oh, Michael, you're freezing up, buddy. Yeah, people can't hear you. I don't have to bounce you. So I'm absolutely staying on. There's a frozen cow right there.
Forrest Fenn is in it, is what we believe. Me and K-Pro have not.
Oh, Michael.
Right, sorry, everybody. I know. That's why I said you're going to have to either do the draw. Drawing or just go solo. I could send once Jens. So the question is, do you want to do an after party?
Yeah, we're going to try to do an after party. I'm getting so little of Mike. I hate to say I'm kicking the cow out. Oh, let's see. Remove. I can't even remove him. Do you want to remove Cowlazars? I don't, but I'm going to. Oh, gosh. I feel weird. Will this one have copyrighted music? I hope not, 3D, because we lost all our monetization before. And this is such a big show that I hope that's not the case. But yeah, there's some other things. Let's wait until Jens comes on because it's only 18 minutes away. Did your cow stop running? Oh my God. Mike, at least get into chat, buddy. This is an odd ending, but here's the thing. We're treasure hunters. We can roll with it. We can make things happen. We can do anything that we need. That it's, there's worse things in life than I'm by myself at the end of the marathon where we just announced this crazy thing at the end. Let's just roll with it. It's okay. But Mike, thank you for all that you do. And I know today was not what we expected, but it went really, really well. And we're now a party. We were going to ask a cow anything. Maybe we'll ask a K-Pro anything because this is so coffee in my cup. I so have coffee. I don't own coffee, friends. Anyway. Okay, so we're rolling with it. We're having fun with it. So let's see. This is the first thing we're going to do. We are going to take the names. Here we go. We are going to take the names of our panelists today. So here they are. And I'm going to take this wonderful, my favorite. He is my cow, and don't mess with him. Searcher hat. I can't do all this since I'm by myself. I can't do all of it on screen. You're just going to have to trust this is in my lap. And here we go. So the first one that we are doing right now, because we don't know what's going to happen. So here's the first three. They're in the hat. Here's the next several. They're in the hat. There's the next three. They're in the hat. So let's do some drawing. I don't remember which searcher coin. We're rolling with it, people. But here they all are. So you can see them that they're in here. And I'm not looking, and I'm just going to pick one. So we're going to do all the searcher coins, the numbers. We'll get them out to you guys. You guys need to see Mike. They're all with Mike. But here we go. Here, zoom in from your phone. Ooh, Bill Gorman. I like Bill Gorman. Oh, hold on, Jens. Hello, Jens. Are you there? Jens, can you hear me? Oh, okay. I have him on my text. Hold on. Send the invite to Jens. No, you did, Michael. Hold on. Let me get Jens up and find out what's happening. Can you hear me? Okay. Oh, you look great, Jens. Stop it. Cannot hear you. I can't hear him. Oh my God. If we can't hear Forrest Fenn when he's talking, cannot hear you. Can you see me?
Look, yeah, now
Oh,
I hear you.
I can hear you now too. Okay, you want to turn down the volume on your YouTube.
Yeah, of course. Give me just a moment because I cannot see myself, which is not good. Oh gosh.
Okay, I was gonna say I was like sign languaging you, and you couldn't. I could tell you, and you look fabulous. You don't have to do your hair. We saw all that.
Shit. I wasn't expecting it to be live, but listen, here's a problem. I can't see myself, which is not good. Click here to join the meeting. Ah, gosh, let me see if this works. Oh, now I see myself very good. Okay. So let me work on the light here really quick.
Okay, and I have the video. It seems I'm getting ready to show a video. Are you ready for this? This is okay.
let me ask you for something before we show the
Sure.
video. I want to maybe say something
Yes, please.
About it. So first of all,
Okay, someone just asked, who is this dude? So tee up who you are, what your project is, what you need. We're going to be putting up a 2019 coin to help you. Anybody who helps you, we're going to put in a drawing what you need, and then we're going to show a hopefully awesome trailer. But go right ahead.
Okay, give it just a moment. Not so okay. So I'm making a documentary about the thrill of the chase, and not primarily just about the chase of Forrest, but also about the searchers. And that's why I call it, at least for now, boots on the ground. And my goal is it that that the film is interesting, or the documentary is not just interesting to searchers, such as existing and new ones, but also so people which are not involved, those who don't know about this project or who don't know about the chase yet. And it's my goal also to be different other than other documentaries, which I have not been happy yet, or they were not, like, in my opinion, so thrilling. So I want to be different in terms of quality, in terms of the views that I show, the questions that I ask, the insights that I give, the findings maybe, and the approaches of how you can maybe find the treasure. And overall, it should be entertaining, fascinating, and captivating for all audiences. And that's my big goal. And I haven't seen anything that comes so far close to it. And when I launched my first teaser after February, I think I got some positive feedback, and I had the impression I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
And
your quality is real. I will say your quality, let alone you had really good content, but your quality was amazing. We got to spend, gosh, just a minute or two, and it turned out to be a lot more, but you don't know really what goes into this until that you really look at the product at the end. And I will say the quality was good, and that's why we had to stop so many times to make sure the lighting and move this and do that. And at the time I didn't really understand it, and then I see your product at the end and I go, I get it.
Yeah. So, but I have to say this at the same point, the direction of my documentary is still open. Okay. You have to consider I have a problem, and the problem is I most likely cannot present something in the end which could be the treasure. So it's kind of a tragedy. So I have to make it in a way that it's expected or still interesting, even though I'm not having the treasure. You know what I mean? It's like I compare it with documentaries about aliens, So there are a lot of documentaries about aliens, and there's no documentary that has ever shown proof of alien life and so on. And I have somehow the same tragedy here. So I'm saying that because my ending or the direction that the film goes is still open. And I have to say, as you mentioned, I met Forrest. And when I met him, I was with him, I saw him for 2 days. I was thinking, hell, just with this guy, I can make a separate film, an own film. It was so interesting what he had to say, especially with the background of the chase, of course. But that gave me a totally new idea of how the film could go. I have to say something else, or let me give you some facts. So I have worked on this film without the research time, just filming, over 2 months, from June to mid-August. Okay, I'm producing everything by myself. That means I pay everything out of my own pocket, just that the people know. I have nobody who's supporting financially or sponsoring me. But that's not a call for donations. I'm just saying I don't want any donations or money. If you want to donate something to the documentary, I would, and can choose to who it goes. It would be Seattle Sullivan. So if anybody is giving now some bucks, I will ask you to give it to Bill Seattle Sullivan. And I can tell you, I will be able to show the fascination, the myth, the beauty, the craft behind it. And
can I chime in for just a second? Those of you that don't know, Seattle Sullivan is the one that won the book that had all the signatures on it. He is someone that searches out of his car. He was offered many thousands of dollars for it right away. He would not take it, but he has a pretty interesting story, and I think Jens has captured that as a part of his journey in capturing all of the interviews and things. But those of you that don't know who Seattle Sullivan, he's not on YouTube and things. So he was in the first trailer, but I know people that know Seattle Sullivan personally, and he's a pretty interesting and amazing person from what I understand. So that just goes to what Jens said, because I think some people are maybe questioning who is Seattle Sullivan. So
he's also the most important is he's homeless. So keep this in mind. He lives in a very old car, and when you see the car, you can't even believe that somebody is able to live there. And he doesn't even have a phone. So my communication with him is very difficult, because only when he finds a Wi-Fi and he goes to libraries and he has a computer, he can respond. So I'm just saying, if somebody wants to, and he has no teeth, keep this in mind. So that tells kind of a lot about him. And he got into this situation through an accident. That is what he told me in front of the camera as well. There's some other people who also have a bad situation. For example, Bill Gorman, which should be not underestimated. But the difference between Bill Gorman and Seattle Sullivan is that Bill Gorman has a roof over his head, and Seattle doesn't. But I just wanted to say that Seattle is not just the only person who has problems, you know.
yeah.
So to give you quick heads up, like I said, I filmed for over 2 months. I traveled with my car more than 15,000 miles within those 2 months. I passed 9 states, I guess, and it's not just a financial problem, but also a time problem, which brought me in a kind of tricky situation, because it was not just that I had to spend expenses, K-Pro, I also had to skip jobs.
Right. Opportunity costs is what we call that.
Opportunity costs.
Yes.
Exactly. Opportunity costs. And
so you're doing this, so you get called for another job that could make you 5, 10, 20,000, and you say no because I'm on this job. So you not only aren't getting paid, you have a job that could pay you. So it's kind of a double whammy. So yeah, you've sacrificed a lot for this.
Yeah, listen, also let me clarify something. I'm not making so much on my jobs.
Okay, whatever that number is. I don't know
but it's enough to pay my bills. And like I said, I had an accident with my car, which is also impacting that project, because it was one day before I traveled to Germany home, and I fell asleep during driving, and I had a very bad hit. I think the damage was over 10 grand.
You totaled your Jeep, right?
Yeah, my Jeep, and it's not totaled, but they repaired it, but it took 6 weeks, and some parts were not available, but I'm just saying. So that was a problem, and so I had to work on other projects to get money in. But the whole thing is not skipped. I still have some people that I want to interview, and those people, they know who they are. And unfortunately, I heard that the weather changed, so my boots on the ground plans are kind of.
Well, other than this, we haven't talked in about a week and a half. I was supposed to go boots on the ground next weekend in Wyoming, and I am hesitant, but I might still go. I'm still trying to figure it out. But exactly the weather for northern searchers, the weather is really so you are all self-financed. What town do you live in? So a couple questions from the room is, are you all self-financed? And the other one is, what town do you live in?
I don't get it. If I'm also financed? Listen,
self-financed. Like, do you have a sponsor, or is it all out of your own pocket right now?
No, out of my own pocket.
That's what I thought.
Like you guys, like all the searchers who do their own boots on the ground, I'm paying for my documentary and traveling around, which for me is boots on the ground to make the documentary. You know? I have been
boots on the film.
I made, just to give you an idea, I was in Montana and Wyoming, and that corner twice. I was twice in Santa Fe and New Mexico, and did some other stuff to get footage and so on. So it's not like that I rode straight from LA always to those destinations. I rode like, wie sagt man, cross? Like, zigzag. I don't know how to call it. But there's one thing that is really, really important to me. and that is my biggest issue. I need boots on the ground footage. So let me tell you something. For those who want to be in the documentary, okay, and if you have footage from yourself, from a GoPro, from a DSLR camera, I don't care, but if this is something, especially where you're visible in the footage, I'm very interested to receive your footage and add it to the and add it to the documentary. You know what I mean? And KPRO was so generous and supportive that she said, let's motivate those people and let's give or make a raffle for those who send footage that you sponsor one of your coins, one of your unnumbered coins. But
no, numbered coins. It's going to be a numbered coin, so that'll get a lot more interest. So let me tell you what Jens and I talked about. Jens needs boots on the ground footage because that is going to be his niche. He wants to tell many stories. Here's the thing. He does not need high-end drone footage. Actually, it would be better if it's not better, but it's okay if it's grainy or if it's just you going like, do you remember the one with Mike where he's like, I can't figure out where this is. You can see he's grumpy. But you see the footage in the background. It's better if you're in it, but it's okay if you're not. If you send Jens in the next week, if you send him your footage of boots on the ground from where, but he needs actual footage. Don't make something up in your backyard. It's actually in footage. He will get me the names of the people that have done that. And you don't have to use your real name. And we'll put all of you, just like we're getting ready to do, all of you in, and you will get one of the numbered 2019 search coins as a way, because this, I believe in this documentary because I don't know everything that's happening. And oh my gosh, people are already emailing me. Don't email me. You will email Jens in a minute and we'll email him the footage and work with him. I'm not involved in this other than Mike and I are just trying to facilitate supporting someone in the community. Jens, go.
Let me tell something really quick. So I got a lot of emails of people who were interested to be interviewed. Okay. Of course, I cannot interview everybody. Keep this in mind. Even though I wanted to, I'm limited with my resources, but I'm trying to have something for everybody. Okay. So, same with the boots on the ground footage. I'm probably not able to put everybody's footage in, but like I said, I have no limitations. Send me whatever you have. It needs to look a bit authentic, okay? And I would be happy, put your name in it and maybe give some information, but don't expose the details. You know, I'm not looking into metadata or something like else. I'm not interested in that. I just want to know approximately where you at so I can add it to the right spots in the documentary and maybe write a little bit about you, and maybe I'm getting back to you for an interview. You know what I mean? So
are photos okay, or is it just videos?
I can't use photos. That was one of my rules.
That's one of the questions.
If they add photos to their videos, okay, that's okay. But let's say for now only video footage, okay?
So video footage, is there a minimum length? These are the things people are asking.
So very important, very important. So regarding the uploads, okay, KPRO, you have, I mean, we didn't talk too much in detail about it, about the technical things, but I will, KPRO has my email. So what you guys have to do is upload it. There is a website, it's called filemail.com, okay? Filemail.com has almost no limitation for upload space. It goes up to 50 gigabytes. And what you do is you upload it. You put your uploader email, your own email. You don't have to make an account or so. You just put your email in. You put my email as a recipient in, and then you give some information in the message text. That's it.
So, so another question, is there a format that you prefer it in? A certain format?
I don't care. I don't care.
He doesn't care. Original. David West, he doesn't care.
And it doesn't matter if it's horizontal, like 16 by 9, or if it's like
if so, vertical, horizontal, doesn't matter. Jana is asking, she's in Seattle until the 3rd. What is the latest date for the video? We're going to do a drawing. Let's give 2 weeks from now, because we already have one for the other one going a week from now.
That's okay.
2 weeks from tomorrow is when, because we're going to put this up on all the other, for people that are not watching it live. So we'll have about 4,000 or 5,000 people, so at least saying that they have watched it. So here's what kind of footage, like video areas. I'm going to answer mine. Video. I did mine where I was frustrated and I was tight. And then there was ones that I was like walking the Madison and walking different areas, getting into putting my little stick in the hidey hole. I have a video of that. There's some videos that probably I would not want to have too much detail to, but I think Jens is up for anything video wise.
Yeah.
It's better if you're in it or a searcher is in it. And then tell a little bit about your story. But it's like if you were emailing Forrest, don't go on and on and on. Make it small. Here's the video. Boom. Right,
We
Jens?
can let's maybe also say, I mean, I'm looking for emotions. Okay, that is something important. If it's just a video where nobody's saying something, okay, that could be okay. But I like to hear voices or emotions or whatsoever. And do me a favor, when you put your package together, the videos that you want to share, okay, I will keep it confidential just for your information. Make a selfie video and talk a bit about yourself and the video.
Nice.
Explain the situation and so on. So I have this, and maybe I can even use this in the video, but keep in mind, before I use something in my final end product, I will ask you for permission again, so that don't worry that there could be something which you don't like in the video where you look not good or you had a bad hair day. Don't worry. I can fix this in post or discuss this with you.
Okay.
It's a big problem,
Give me title. I'm focused on this one, so let's go back to that right after we're done with Jens. I don't know what you're asking if it's not related to this. Here's the thing. So I have video of me being there and going, and I have some of that, and then I have a video about 30 seconds that I am in Bullwinkle's, and I'm sitting there going, I don't know if this exists. I'm so mad right now. I'm so mad at Forrest. I'm so mad that I spent money. I'm so mad that I thought that I did. And I was all like grizzly looking because I was all dirty and I'm like, I was just mad, but I was trying to laugh at myself, but I was just mad. I think he would love that. Like, you know what? It's better to give more than less. He might look at it and go, oh, that's crazy. Ooh, who's that grizzly woman? And then that's what you roll with. So it's not just, so other questions for Jens before we show a I hear you have a trailer.
Yeah, I made it just for you, K-Pro, But let me tell you something. So I don't understand why you had that issue with the copyright. The music in my first teaser was copyrighted, just that you know. So I would contest that.
Yeah, and that's a whole process, and we will. But this one gets about 10 times more reviews, so we don't even. Hopefully, you don't have any copyrighted in there because I know.
No. It's all YouTube.
Okay.
I change it for you. It's not
awesome.
the music that I finally use. Let's post after the show a link in the comments or in your forum where you can find that teaser with the real music, with the real cut. This one has some.
Someone's asking for the website upload. We'll put this in the description, but say it again for people that. Well, you know what? We'll give you the email. We'll give you his email. We will give you the website link that you're going to go and. Cowlazars is already on it. And so Mike has had technical difficulty. We've had a lot of interesting things that happen. I right now am on and Mike's not. That's scary, Jens. That's scary.
That's better. That's better for the quality of this interview.
Don't say that. He's in chat. Don't say that right out loud. Yeah, we've got
Mike knows that I'm joking.
Mike and I, and actually Jens and his wife got to meet all of our kids. And I have to thank you. You bought us all dinner because somehow a 1 hour turned into many, many, many hours. And we had a great time. So our families have all met. Huh?
Yeah, my wife was in the shot.
Yes,
right
there
now.
she was. There she was. So it was,
Come here. See, my wife, she doesn't want to, she's not prepared, but she says.
You know what? It's late. Let her, she's been very patient with you. So, okay. So here we go. This was when I was in Vegas this summer. Someone did ask, what is the time frame? You could just say like in the last couple months is when all this came about, right? Like, so what you're going to show is all within definitely 2019.
Yeah, of course. I'm not showing all.
Some people don't know. So they're just asking. Yeah, they're just asking questions.
Listen, I would suggest let's show the video for now. We'll talk a bit about Force and the video and yeah, it's just some. Let me tell you something. I can't expose my gems. You know what I mean? So Forrest said some things that I have to review again, but he said some very interesting things. I chose the ones where I know they give you an insight that Forrest was very open to me. He was in a very good mood. He was very friendly. I was very surprised. It was like almost talking.
Oh my
It was
gosh, he's
like
awesome.
talking to my own grandfather. But take a look. I have 3 statements from him, and it will give you an idea that he was really open-minded to me. So let's play it.
Okay. Mike, you've left me hanging, dude. I am so freaking out right now. Hold on. Let me get it all teed up. So here we go. And I have no idea. If this works, Mike, you owe me so big time, buddy. Hold on. Do I have to go through OBS, Michael? Give the email and website to Jens. For Jens. Okay, hold on. That'll happen in a second. I just want to make sure the video actually, I think I have to roll it through OBS. Let's just make sure that I do this right before. So let me make one quick call to Mike, because when I do this, I want to make sure I do it right, so we don't have any issues. Oh, he sent me to voicemail. Wow, that's Mike's a special guy. Okay, here we go. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull this over, and you guys are only going to see this. And I am certainly hoping that this works. Okay, so here we go. Forrest Fenn interview, never before seen. My Mike's. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, he just hung up. We're going to try to roll this. If it doesn't have sound, we're going to go back to it in a second. Michael, teach me how to do that as we do this, but full screen. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Mike is now calling. He just hung up. Okay, this is so much fun. I'm so glad that I'm doing this tonight. Okay, here we go. Are we guys? And you guys need to tell me if there is any audio. Once I hear audio, I won't worry. Here we go.
"11 days from now, I'll be 89. But I told my wife the other day, I said, in less than 13 months, I'm going to be 90. She said, that's beginning to get serious. And I believe it. I won an award with Thrill of the Chase. Nobody knows that because I haven't talked about it. But I got a letter from this PhD that had one of the judges. And he said, that's such a childish book.
Okay. People can hear the audio.
I wrote him back and said, yeah, it's childish. A 13-year-old kid wrote it. And the first part of that book was written by a 13-year-old kid. Read it again. I knew where I was going to hide the treasure. And it was not difficult for me to write the poem that would lead somebody to the treasure because it was something that was familiar to me. But I wrote it and I tweaked it and I changed words and I changed the texture of it a couple of times, and all of the nouns in the poem I looked up in a dictionary to be sure that I knew exactly what they mean, and the adjectives, and I learned a few things about the English language. But the poem turned out exactly the way I hoped that I envisioned it, and I hoped that it would. I'm very pleased with the poem. It does everything that I wanted it to do.
Okay, let's see. Oh, there you are. Okay. Wow. So you got to spend, so let me ask you a couple questions. You got to spend quite a bit of time with Forrest, right?
Yes, so much time that he almost kicked me out.
Oh, he's so great. I don't know. You guys, you could have moved in. I don't know. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, also it was all easy going. The first encounter, the first moment is the most important one. And I felt already how Forrest came to me after I passed the gate. He said, Jens, how are you doing? Come in. He was so nice. And I think he knew from my first teaser, and I think my first teaser was a door opener also. He knew that I'm not putting traps on him, that I will be pretty fair. But of course, I don't want the answers that he gives to everybody. You know, he has his script book where he says word for word the same. And when he's tried to do with me the same, and said to Forrest, I know that answer already. So
do you believe that you touched in some areas that others have not?
Yeah, definitely. So let me tell you something about the solve, okay? If Forrest would give me a clue, I wouldn't give it, okay? I would keep it because I know he doesn't want to give it. I want to keep don't want to mistreat his trust, and he didn't give a clue. But Forrest, you get a different view of him, a different insight. You see a different man, and it maybe helps you on the solve. And I have to review the whole interview. It's a few hours. Keep this in mind. We're not talking about 2 hours or so. It was way longer. And from my first teaser, I can tell you that there's a lot of things I don't notice during the interview because I'm doing everything by myself, asking questions and so on, taking care of the camera, for the light. And at that time, my wife wasn't with me. I was totally alone. Keep this in mind. So, but I remember he said some things which were quite interesting. And I think I have something that is, I keep it for my documentary, but it's probably a hint. So, but what I want to say right now is you see Forrest Fenn from a side that can help you to understand him better, especially his mental thing, his psychology. Watch it, okay?
Yeah.
I have to tell you that I will meet him hopefully another time. I asked him, we had an issue. His wife wasn't doing so well, so I didn't want to then staying long. And I felt on the second day he was with his mind somewhere else. But if I see him again, okay, I will work on the remaining questions, of course, that I have. But I want to give something to the people who are in the chat room. So
yeah, thank you.
Keep in mind. So just for you guys, I'm giving you a chance here, okay, an opportunity. If there was one question you can ask Forrest Fenn, except asking for another clue or the location of the treasure, what would be that question? You can email me that question. And if the question is not so 100% clear what you're aiming, explain it a bit. But I will select some questions and put them into the interview. Okay. So
yeah, and we have a thread up on Thor. Maybe we'll revive it. We have about 130 people that weighed into exactly that. And they all take different directions. Some of them are more personal. Some of them are about kids. Some of them are about his time in the military. Some of them are now. Some of them, they really vary. So you might know what this means. I don't. And so tell me if I say something not good. Infach Fabelhof?
So again?
EINFACH. Einfach Fabelhaft. FABELHAFT.
Einfach fabelhaft. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's a good thing. Okay, that's a good thing.
The person said it's simply fabulous. He liked it. Thank you so much.
And then there's another one because my German is so good. Das, D-A-S, ist, I-S-T, Schade, S-C-H-A-D-E.
So, pass off, real quick. I see here Mike is posting in the chat. My email is jensesamedia@gmail.com. Okay, send it not to my private email. It's already full with spam. But send it to jenseasa.media@gmail.com. Okay, that's the email, Mike. If that helps.
Yeah. Okay, so 3D Braun super chatted. Great job, Jens, being brave to ask for new answers. And I agree. I think it sounds like you are really understanding that this needs to be new and different. It can't just be here's 4 searcher stories and that's it. It has to be something new with Forrest for the community, something new with content for everyone else in the story. So that's been great. Okay, so I'm catching
Thank
up.
you.
That's the email. That's the email. Are you going to be putting out the entire interview and make it available? That like the B-roll footage.
Also, let me think about it. I know that people are very interested. Yeah, and I see there's an interest. I should do it because I'm doing that documentary not for me. I do it for the audience and primarily for the searchers. And I know that people are very interested, and I own it to share what I see from Forrest or what I got from Forrest because I did it for the documentary. So let me verify with Forrest Fenn, and I would probably do something like Jason Dent did with the Playboy interview. There's some stuff where Forrest is like or not doing something else. I have to cut those things out. But the interview itself, I think once the documentary is on available or on the market, yeah, I probably.
Well, so think of it this way. This is what I want the search community to think. Jens has taken time, spent months on his documentary. He is trying to give back to the community. The only thing he's asking for us, which I think is amazing, is give him some boots on the ground footage. Give him some ways that he can really put a bow on his documentary, because that's what he's needing to complete it. And we've already seen his quality. And if you do, you get entered into a drawing for a numbered 2019 searcher coin. So that's what we wanted to roll out tonight. I will say you did not disappoint. We have some unique time that has been rolled out here with Forrest, and he looked great, and he was talking all about the poem. God, he talked about the poem. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. Oh, and Alan Kay has some really good stuff. He's already saying, I'm happy to help. I've seen some of it. His is really good.
Let me tell you something really quick. So I was a bit, I was chasing Forrest and saying, Forrest, I can't wait for an interview because without you, I have nothing. I told him that because in the beginning, he was not responding to me. It was pretty frustrating. I know, Capro, we talked. I told you the issue. I said, Forrest is not answering me. And I also talked to Cynthia and people who know him. And you guys said, okay, if he's not responding, we can talk to him. However, I tried it again and again and again. And then someday he answered, which was good. Yes. When I was in his home, okay, let me first say you this. When I saw him, and I want that everybody knows it, when I saw him, and you guys saw him also at the Fanbury, most of you, but when I saw him at home, it's a different thing. He was in a pretty good shape. So I think for those people who are afraid that he's saying bye and going to the stars, I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen soon. So, and then the other thing is, I almost forget what I wanted to say.
Well, let me ask you a few things from the chat room, but I'm going to ask this. I'm not going to press, but I sure would love it. I hear there might be a second trailer you want to show.
I remember now. Listen, I remember now what I wanted to say. Okay. He said, Jens, come here. The camera was off, unfortunately. And he said he was sitting on his chair, where you can lean back. And he said, look on my screen. He showed me his computer, his laptop. And he said, you see this here? And it was like a never-ending line of emails. He said, these are just the emails I received during the interview. You want to see what's inside? And he said, he didn't show me names also, but he told me people sending me emails. I can't read them. When they are too big, I don't even read them. And I can understand this man. He's a 90-year-old gentleman. If you write him messages, I give you the advice. Okay, for long emails, I'm 100% sure he only reads very few of them.
He scans. Yeah, but, he said that.
That's what he told me. Yeah, he's dealing with so much emails, and I'm saying that because he didn't respond to my emails in the beginning too, and I'm just thinking that he probably oversaw them, or he was not interested.
Because there's lots and lots of people. So I hear there might be a second trailer that you want to really make sure everyone knows the love. Is there a second trailer that you want me to show?
Yeah, the second trailer, it's on your own risk, the music, and I haven't published that yet, and it has some copy
It has some copywritten.
What's it called?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Michael,
You were
Michael, it's
listening.
your call. Michael is in the room, but Michael has been the one that's texting me. And Mike, I say we show it and then we figure it out. But it's Mike is the boss in this family. So Mike, yes, no, it's up to you, my friend. Our interchange is about 10 seconds delayed, so we're going to see what Mike has to say. Give me title to the gold. Forrest revealed the sushi location, and we are all running. No, I'm kidding. Don't do it. You guys worked all day long. Yeah, that's true. Let's see what Mike has to say. Don't do it. Just give us the transcript. When will the documentary be released? If you want to answer that, I'm wait. Oh, I got a text from Mike. He's not.
Well, as I mentioned, the direction is still open, and I'm already behind schedule. So I hope 2020. I just don't know if in the beginning, middle, or end of the year. It depends a bit also on the progress. Keep this in mind. So yeah, maybe
Okay.
I'm away. Yeah, so 2020 is the goal. Okay, long story short.
Okay, so here's what I would like to propose to do. We have to have this video good with where it's at, but we're going to have what's called an after party, where we're going to shut this video down, and then at the after parties where we invite everybody back, and then everybody can comment. And the first thing I'll do is show the second trailer, and then we will all talk about it. But if that one gets demonetized, that will be different than this one, because we will lose all the super chats and everything that we have, and we don't want to do that. But we still want to see, because I haven't seen it, and I'm not going to like bail on you guys and go and watch it. But Jens, is that exciting? Do you see what we bring? We bring excitement. Oh, Mike didn't share it until right now. He's just shared. Michael, you're in big, big trouble, mister. Okay. So that will be the next that we do. Where is, okay, so does that sound like a good plan? I'm becoming a pro. K-Pro, get it? K-Pro. Okay, so what other questions? So Jens is working on a tight timeline. He wants, we're going to give 2 weeks from tomorrow as get him things, and he's going to give us just a generic list of people. And Jens, you have something to say? What?
Yeah, so I would suggest after the chat, you put the information that the people need into the comment or into the description of this video. Is that possible?
Yes, we absolutely can.
Yeah.
Here's another question for you. Is there a third trailer? Mike just emailed me, ask Jens if we can show the third trailer. Oh, maybe he's talking about the first one.
No, the first one he can show. For those who haven't seen it, it's pretty interesting. The second one,
it is really good. I really like it.
The second one takes over at the first one, and it shows Bill Sullivan, and then goes more into the boots on the ground. It's a totally different style, But you can see my. I think you can.
I love that. I love that.
And,
yes.
And my third teaser the second teaser I've only shown to a few people who are involved in that video to ask them what they think and if it's okay what I showed. And the third one I've shown nobody with Fenn, what you saw right now. But this is like really not even 1% of what I have,
Oh boy. Okay. So here's the plan. Oh my gosh, I just froze up for a second. I hope that doesn't happen again. Okay, so we're going to answer any more questions that you have. Everybody is going to send Jens your boots on the ground. I want him to go, oh my gosh, I have so much extra footage now. I'm able to, this baby is put to bed. I'll be published with a documentary in no time. So great. Jens,
okay,
yes.
Something else. So when they send their footage, okay, like I said, don't send me like where you film the landscape. That's not what I want. I want just to get a feeling that you're really walking. If you're in the shot or not, doesn't matter. But if you're in the shot, even better. So when you send me your information, also send me your social media information, because this is part of my documentary, and that was my wife's idea. Actually, she said, "Hey Jens, you have to make it to today's standard, because social media plays an important role in this search. People are communicating on social media, sharing information, and so on. So put your Instagram or Facebook or whatever you have in that message that you have, because I will also put it in the film. So, for example, you see already in the second teaser, it says Christy Professor, aka K-Pro. And then I would add your Instagram. And did I say something wrong?
No, it's just fine. Let's just keep rolling with it.
Yeah, and and the people text me your forum names or whatsoever, that people know who you are there. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's part of the film as well. I'm talking too much. Sorry.
No, not at all. This is your part. This is your show. We're so excited.
No.
This is like the debut. This is so awesome. Thank you.
Mike, hi.
Hey, how you doing, Jens?
to see
I
my
just
friend.
wanted, yeah, you too. I just wanted to make sure it's okay to show all three trailers: the original one from February, the second one that I don't think too many people have seen, and then this third one that we just showed. We were going to show all three over again on the after party here in a couple minutes.
If we do the after party, then show the third one, the Forrest Fenn one, the original one, okay? Not with the cheap copyright-free music.
No, we'll show it that way. We're not worried about the monetization, on that. But there's three.
I will send you the link. We can show all three.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Actually, the third one was only for Forrest Eyes, but Forrest liked it. He said he really liked it, and there was nothing which is critical about the treasure, So, but we can do it, So,
and what's the website where people can upload their videos again?
It's filemail.com.
File. What's the second word? File.
Mail. M-A-I-L.
File mail. Oh, okay. Filemail.com.
I speak Jens.
Yeah. You can also use WeTransfer, or I found another one. Also, don't use Dropbox, please, because Dropbox makes issues. Sorry, I hope they don't screw me for that, but don't use Dropbox.
Filemail.com. I'm just getting it out there for people. Okay.
Yeah, and there's another good one. It's called FromSmash.com. That's also a very good one.
And we'll put all this in the description.
And the email address, make sure I got it right. jensermedia@gmail.com.
Yeah, it's Jens Esert together.
Right.
And then I write it .media@gmail.com. But with Gmail addresses, it doesn't matter if you do a dot. You always receive them. You can write Jens Esert Media or Jens Esert.media. Works both.
Okay, good. Then what I posted is right, but I'll put it in there again. Because your trailers are awesome. It's really good. It's the best documentary footage I've seen out of all the ones that are out and everything. So I really hope people send you a lot of footage, and it helps you get it released, quicker, sooner rather than later, because people are going to be waiting for it.
Yeah, like I said, I have to work. End of the year, I'm a filmmaker. I'm a freelancer, independent. I have no paycheck. I'm working on project base. So, and I tell you right now, I'm having some issues. So I have to focus a bit on my work. And when we go towards the end of the year, I will have more time to start editing, building a story. But I try this year to get 3-4 more people to interview. One of who I want to have in, one of them, you guys probably know, is also the Iceman, Illinois Ghost. I need to get that guy.
The Iceman.
I think he's a record holder for Boots on the Ground.
Eminem. Okay.
So, and I have some really interesting people. But if people send me a Boots on the Ground footage, if I see something interesting, maybe I'm getting back to you. Okay. So, that's
and
it.
for the absolute least, search coin that's numbered. I mean, that is worth something. So at the least, and here's the thing too. I've had 3 solves. I have 2 other solves that I have old video. It doesn't have to be your active solve. It has to be a solve where you are actively on the ground, and at that time you were so pumped or so disappointed. It doesn't have to. There's no verification. So just put legitimate boots on the ground. That's all.
Yeah. Let me tell you something really quick stuff. We haven't talked about it. If you can give me 2-3 minutes, is that okay?
Of course.
Okay.
Take as long as you want.
First of all, I would like to thank everybody who was so open and helpful to be interviewed in that documentary. Okay. People shared a lot of insights that they usually wouldn't. I have some people who never gave an interview and who had a lot of requests. So I really appreciate that the trust that they brought towards me. Just a moment. And then I want to speak about, I didn't came to it, some findings. And I have one, I usually don't ask for details in those interviews. I ask nobody, where's your spot, where do you search? But I had one question, K-Pro, I think we talked about it. I asked the people, how does your warm waters hold look like? And I can share this already, but it was interesting that almost everybody not just had a warm water sold, they also had a totally different vision of what warm waters is.
Different,
and it was really fascinating. I haven't expected that. And but at the same time, you know what? Everybody was very sure to be very, very close to the treasure.
Theirs is right, and here's what it is. But can I ask you one question?
Of course.
So when you asked Forrest Fenn that answer, what did he answer? That's the only one that matters.
When I asked what?
But is his warm water salt?
Yeah. Did you actually come out and ask him or no?
I mean, I asked him a question which was similar, but not like as direct as that. But no, I but let me just go ahead with the other stuff.
No, this has been great. You have been very gracious.
I didn't ask Forrest any questions for the solve, and I'm pretty sure the community also don't want to have any any additional clues. You know, they want to solve it. People want to get this trove, the chest, because they solved the they solved the poem, and not because they got help. You know, so and I heard that from a lot of interviews that I had. So,
yes, but if you were to say once you cut it from so there's two audiences I think your documentary is going to have. People that have never heard of the hunt, and you have to make it interesting with all of our stories and a little bit of Forrest stories. And then you have the search community. And we really want to know Forrest, because exact words from Forrest. Do you think we will be excited? You gave a teaser that already is shown, or a trailer. Wow, there's some good stuff there. I think you have some good stuff. I haven't seen it, but I think you have some good. If you had time with him, is that an angle that you're going to make sure to give in your story? Is the Forrest Fenn quotes and information?
Sorry, can you rephrase that question short?
Is the part of your story going to make sure to include not only the search community and the overall story, but Forrest Fenn and his story, his exact words, his interview?
Thank you. Like I said, my direction is not set yet. I was pretty surprised when I interviewed Forrest Fenn about the stuff he told me, even though it was not directly about clues or hints. It was very interesting to build a picture of him that could help to maybe better understand the book or some parts of your own solve. So in my opinion, and I'm not just saying that to keep the people on my documentary, that will not help me. But there will be stuff you will see Forrest Fenn, in my opinion, from a side you haven't seen him before, even if you have met him on Fanbury. But he's a different person when he's out there in a group and people all want to talk to him and so on. He builds some kind of a comfort zone and some kind of, safety zone, you know. But when you meet him at home and you're one-on-one with him and he feels comfortable, he's a different person.
Yeah.
I tell you. So I could have, with that footage, I could make my own separate film. But the documentary is not just about Forrest, but Forrest is the most important part. If I have nothing from Forrest, if I don't have Forrest in that documentary, I have nothing.
Yeah.
And
right.
Yeah.
So you got plenty. You got plenty. I love it.
So I think, just really quick. So I think for people who don't know about this story, okay, I'm saying general, the story, they will be, I think, very interested about the whole thing. But I think I have enough to even get those people excited who are working on this chase for years.
Good.
Is that an answer?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I would pay money to see this documentary. So can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting stuff. So there has been a ton of questions from the room of like, when is it coming out and how do they get it, DVD, etc. I think a lot of those are unknown, but did not disappoint tonight. Thank you. I know you had to really push for our timeline, and that's why I only teased a little bit. I didn't say who exactly and how that all was going to work. So I thank you for breaking loose some time, because I know how busy things are for you. If there's other questions, let me know. Things went by so fast. But what we'll do now is we're actually going to drop off, and then we were going to come back on, because we have the one and we have all the monetization on the one. And so we're going to drop off. We're going to come back and we're going to show another trailer.
We'll show all three. We'll show three. There's three total. We'll show all three. right?
Yeah. Well, we know the first one has issues, so I'd just like to show the second and third one again.
Well, no,
sorry,
show it. Yeah.
Okay.
The first one is copyrighted, the music.
Right.
That's
Okay.
okay. I think we should show it.
I don't.
Well,
So
the
it
after
doesn't
party's
exist.
not going to be for very long, is it?
It has a
Oh.
third one, and I think we should just do 2 and 3, and we will give links to all of them that everybody can go to Vimeo
All right.
and do
All
it.
right.
See, I hold the hammer tonight.
Then what I sent you, skip the first link or watch it while we're offline to make sure you know which one's which.
Okay.
Mike, I will send you all 3 links to make sure you got the right ones, okay?
Yeah, right. Okay.
and then do me a favor, once we do that after party, give me the chance before you play it to say something about it so that people get a better idea. But I appreciate it that you promote these.
For sure. It's a
you
positive
for what
thing
you're
for the
doing.
community.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thanks for coming
absolutely.
on. So you want to come on to the after party, right, Jens? You want to talk about it before we show them?
We're
going to do it right now.
I'm here just for you. You know what I mean? I'm
5 minutes.
my Saturday Night Live here.
Yeah. Okay, so
right,
everybody give us about 2 minutes. We're going to drop off, reboot, or reconnect,
Reset,
a reset, and then we're going to do that. We'll do the trailer. We will do all of these giveaways, but then we have more because you're going to give Jens some good boots on the ground footage. But that's what we're going to work on in the next 2 minutes. So I hope to see 186 of you in just a minute.
I'll post the link in the Grand Adventure on Facebook, but if you go to YouTube and just go to Cowlazars, you'll see where it says live when we come back. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Jens.
See you later.
Michael, do I need to keep the same invite or do I need to redo an invite?
No, we're going to redo it. So just hit stop stream if you didn't already. Yeah.
I did. Hold on.
No, and Jens could have just stayed on, but that's okay.